guys, the only thing to be careful of, and I believe there's still
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Greenock for the Scottish Open. We're here at hole number 1, sponsored by Ultimate Sportswear, and there's been a slight change to our tee-off time. First of all, we've got Matt Morgan, Neil Shave, Colin Murray and Razvan Onchoyo teeing off first. As you can see, we've got a slightly new format today. We've got a split-screen format, so you'll have myself and Gary Thompson who'll be commentating. And we're going to do a little bit of split screen action, see how that works today. So Gary's up behind the pin, I'm behind the tee, so hopefully that'll give you a good bit of visibility. People have called us the Emma Hayes and Ali McCoist of foot golf, except I know nothing and he ain't funny. So we'll try and keep you slightly entertained, but do let us know in the comments how things are going, and feel free to let us know who these players are, because ironically, despite being friends with the majority of them on Facebook, I don't recognise many of them. So we're just waiting a few minutes to tee off, but we'll just let Gary come in and just tell you a little bit how the green's looking today.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone, and as Carolyn says, welcome to Greenock, or as I prefer to call it today, the Costa del Greenock. Conditions here are absolutely fantastic, perfect for foot golf. We have got 26 degrees Celsius, not like Scotland at all, and no wind. So, first hole, green here on the right hand side, so look at from the tee box. There is a slight camber towards the back of the green, so sensible play would be to leave your ball short of the green and put up the hill. At this point, I'll pass you back to Carolyn.
And I'll just take you through the tee off, so you can maybe see in the distance, you see Gary way in the distance there. Last year we teed off and went across all of these bushes, which will probably give some of you who saw it a little bit of the fear, because I definitely nearly lost the ball in there last year. But this year, actually, where the tee is, it's been moved a little bit further back, so it is a big hit if you want to clear those bushes. So I suspect most players are going to go left. They're going to go slightly left, just through between those trees, and then kind of hit across towards the actual green, which is just over there. And you can see Gary in the blue shirt just behind the tee there.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Carolyn. I think the sensible play here is play left. Tees have been moved from last year. Pin has also been moved. It's on the left-hand side. The fairway last year when they were on the right. So sensible play for me would be play left for your first shot, second shot across and near the pin, and give yourself a chance of birdie.
Well, Gary, I'm going to pop you on the spot then. Who's your favourite for the overall winner?
Wow, that's a tough one, Carolyn. So many big names. We've got a few of the guys coming up from down south as well. If you had to put me on the spot today, I think Joe McCourt would be the favourite. But last year's champion, Fraser Weir, I would 100% think he'll be in the running.
Yeah, I agree with that. Coming out, it's a good form, Fraser Weir, big hitter as well, so he's definitely got the distance here at Greenock. But I don't think you can rule out Ali Dick as well. He's played very, very well this year. Only person on tour to win two, as he comes across my camera. He was not sponsoring me to say that. But he's played very well. And any dark horses, do you think?
It's interesting that you mentioned that, Carolyn. I think one of our very own at Bridgend, I think Colin Murray will do very, very well here. Only really started to play the tour heavily this year, and I think we've seen already some quite incredible performances, to be honest, from Colin. So yeah, Colin, absolutely my dark horse.
Yeah, I think there's a few. I certainly think Tom Spink, having won the English Open, I don't think he can be ruled out. He certainly will play well up here, and I think with the conditions being what they are, that may suit the English players quite well. Obviously being a little bit drier, and I know that they've got a lot of kind of more heat down south than we do. So you might find that those conditions actually, us Scots not being used to the Costa del Greenock, might struggle a little bit. So it'll certainly be interesting to see who does well. But feel free to pop in the comments who you think's going to do well, and we'll pop some things up. I can see we've had a few comments already, so I'll just scroll through some of them. I'm going to pop that one up from Martin Little. Thank you very much for the compliment, Martin. We're hopeful that we can do the tee off and the green for most holes, but we might, obviously with regards to battery packs, etc., we might have to kind of not do that. We're very gutted not to have Liam Shoots as well. It seems to be that the fates conspired against you, as Claire Williams would say, and you've not made it, unfortunately, Liam, but we would have loved to have seen you, and I think, again, you would have been one of my threats. And we've got a few family members. Nicola McCourt's been happy with your choice, Gary. I can't think there's any bias there at all from Nicola.
Excellent choice from Nicola there, and of course Scotland captain, so expecting a good performance from Joe here.
Perfect. So we're just calling the players onto the tee, so we're going to go quiet for a bit, you'll be pleased to know. And first of all, we've got Razvan on Choil.
Tell me you're not going over there. Well, that's if I can get my teeth on.
Next on the tee is Colin Murray. So if they're sensible in the pairs, you might find Raz will take the safe shot on the left. Will go for the over the kind of bushes shot. But you might find looking for his ball for a bit. And I think, knowing Colin as I do, being my own teammate, I think we might see him go for this here. What a hit.
Colin Murray, wow.
And there's the danger. So it's hit off of there and it's ended up in the hazard. So I think that'll probably put the fear in most players who are standing watching right now. Next up, Matt Moore. Again, sensible and safe. So is Neil Shave going to go for it? And that's the beauty of pairs. What that is. I think they'll be taking that one.
So an incredible shot there from Neil Shave. The one of the four players that has come over on the right hand side of the fairway, and Neil has left himself probably 50 yards, I think, to the pin. Quite a tricky line, I think, to the pin looking from where we are. But the format today, the Scottish Scramble, so both players tee off and they then pick whichever of the two tee shots they prefer. They then play alternate shot from that point.
I think it's fairly safe to say that Colin Murray will pick up out the hazard and they'll definitely play with Razvan's ball. They are, of course, the self-proclaimed world's best pair. I'm sure we'd have a few people who might actually say that that's not the case, but you know, I wouldn't be doing them justice if I didn't tell you what they call themselves.
No, Neil.
So Colin Murray start the ball out to the right as we look at it, and that has settled nicely on the green. Excellent shot there from Colin. Left Razvan with a fairly straightforward uphill putt, I think, there for birdie. So Matt and Neil just in dialogue there. The preferred spot on the green is the other side of the pin from where we're looking at it. That would leave them with a fairly short uphill putt. Neil Shave and Matt seem both happy with the ball going slightly to our right. To the left, I think maybe not so much. So Matt to go. Starts the ball out to the right. Is that going to feed back into the left? Excellent. Exactly where Neil Shave asked him to go.
Tap in birdie for world's best pair.
Ali, Callum, Lee, Bennett, Ed Beaton. Oh no. Right, come in, I'll just get through the starter list.
That's fine. Just missed that on the left edge of the pin there. Colin will tap in for a 4. So, world's best pair start with a birdie.
They owe us 50 quid after this, by the way. So, well, I think we'll stay here for a bit, Gary. We'll just do a couple on hole number 1 before we head up to hole number 2. And next, it was one of my potential picks. We appear Ali Dick, Callum Haig, Lee Bennett, and Ed Beaton coming on tee. And again, it'll be interesting to see the choices that they take after what they've just seen. Could very easily, I think, Gary, have been the risk and reward hole this, eh?
I think that's absolutely right. I think we've saw already the deviation and the choices for the tee shot. So play safe up on the left-hand side. You obviously run the risk that the ball potentially can feed into the burn down there as well. But go aggressive and play to the right. You have got a great chance, as we saw with Neil Shave's tee shot there.
It's a chance to go big or go home, and I think especially scramble pairs lends itself very well. If it was alternate shot, I'm not sure you would see as many people being aggressive, but I think Neil Shave had a cracking shot there. So next group coming on the tee.
307 tee off is Callum Haig, Alistair Dick, Lee Bennett and Ed Beaton. You obviously know you better than me. Can we go again?
So first up. Safe. Haji, as he's called, up north, or Cal down south. Strike. Bounced up, hit the tree, and I can't see, Gary. I can't see if that came down.
I think that's fine. Hit the tree. I think if it hadn't, there's a little burn that runs across just beyond the tree there, but the ball has hit the tree, come back slightly, but sitting nicely on the first cut rough there. So, yeah.
And Lee has just teed off and gone left. So let's see what Ed does. Strike. Ooh, tree. Don't know if you heard that, but he just said, "We're going with yours, mate," and I think that's probably correct.
I think that's a fair call. I think we know for the second group which tee shot they will prefer. I think for the first group, for Ali and Callum, this will be really, really interesting to see which ball they
You just
prefer
swing round
to
and
hit from.
just swing round and show us where Callum's ball is.
Yep, we can do that. So you can see beyond the pin, we've got the tree just down there, and Callum's ball, the orange ball there, is just to the right of that. So quite a tricky shot. I think he's quite a bit closer than where Ali's ball has gone, but tricky shot. They're playing over the burn. They've got the path to negotiate,
Yeah.
and the camber looks like it's running in a couple of different directions. So
May have been a different call had it been a left footer, but with it being a right footer, I think they'll probably take the other ball. But knowing these two as I do, they'll definitely take their time making that decision. And quite right.
it's quite a difficult shot as well, I think, for Ali's tee shot. So Callum will be able to use his right foot and swing the ball round the trees, but there is that hazard to negotiate as well. So I think you're right, Carol, and I think the tee shot from Callum, I think, probably would suit a left footer, but given we've got two right footers predominantly in the pair here, I think they will select Ali's ball. And it looks like that is decision made. So they are going with Ali's tee shot. Callum to play next. So we watch the second shot from our second pair in there. Ball has gone off to the left-hand side. Is that going to trickle down there and catch the path? No, it's stopped.
Looks as if they've got quite a big right to left there, as the player looks at it, Gary.
Agreed.
Mm. So it'll be Callum. He's certainly got the distance to hit this towards the green. Now, if you watch Colin Murray, he will see that it does track slightly left to right.
So interesting shot there from Callum. I think it went with the toe and the ball has gone out to the right, but I think that's a sensible play. Everything tracks right to left as we see it, and is left Ali with an uphill putt through the rough onto the green, giving him a pretty good chance of birdie, I think.
Ali Dick fans, I'm not sure, Ali White, if you changed your name to match Ali's because you're a fan, or it's always good to see the players getting some support.
Agree. So Lee and Ed to go first here. Both groups in with a chance of birdie. This putt very, very tricky.
Don't worry, I'm just going to restart the checklist. Still got a couple of minutes anyway.
Starts off to the right. Ball is sitting on the screen, so it's a sensible play.
It turns this way to that at the end. Yeah. We'll split the putt into two then if you want.
Excellent weight there from Ali. Ball just turned right to left quite heavily towards the end. I think Callum picked up on that. Very difficult putt because I think it was running in the opposite direction initially. So Callum taps in there for par. And also a par.
Nice, well done. So we'll stay here for one more group and then we'll move on to hole 2 so you can see a bit more of the course. Just want to say a big shout out to Stephen Williams, who clearly got my payment into his account. Talking about the standard of the camera work, Gary, and the commentary. We're using a new kind of live streaming package, and it's called StreamYard, and it's very, very good. Just make sure that you've got a lot of battery on your phone and several battery packs with you.
So I think what we've seen there, Carolyn, we've had 4 groups through 1 birdie and 3 pars. I think this first hole will be very, very tricky. I think anything under par here is excellent, and yeah, it could be one of those holes, I think, where we see an average score probably around par. As we saw, there's quite a bit of danger, so when it gets to the singles tomorrow, players have got a choice. I think we'll see a lot more players play safe out on the left-hand side.
Definitely, I mean, because at the end of the day, the ball goes in there. You're struggling to probably make bogey, if I'm honest. So it'll be very, and also I don't know if you've ever played at Greenock, but the gorse here is very, very thick, and the chances are you might get a little hole in your 600-pound ball. So next up we have Gavin Howe, Stephen Cameron, Barry O'Donnell and Mark Bowie. Gavin Howe to tee off first. Sensible shot that. Made that look effortless. Lovely. Stephen up next. Shot, and he's been very, very fortunate there and missed the hazard, but Stephen will tell me he meant that and I'll accept that. Good shot. That was Barry O'Donnell, so it's now Mark Bowie coming on the tee. And that's the danger, and that ball. I hope he brought a spare, because either he needs a spare ball or chainmail to get that back, because that is some very thick gorse, and there'll be a few players from last year that will remember that gorse, because there's a few of us in it. But yeah, well, that's made my mind up. I think I'll be playing it safe tomorrow. So I'm going to follow these players down and we'll head up towards hole 2. And then we'll wait for the next 3 at hole 2.
Gary Farmer, yes, it is very, very hot, and I have to say I'm delighted that Carolyn Kent is now coming up to the first pin, and it means that we can move somewhere else, because I'm currently standing in the direct sunshine and I'm absolutely melting. So anywhere that we can find with a bit of shade would be very welcome at this point in time. Looking forward to seeing you
Gary's not
tomorrow,
telling you all.
Gary.
Yeah. Just as well you're not a vampire, Gary, eh?
Been called a lot worse.
So you can see where these balls are here. Ah, true. So I'm just going to be careful because there is still golfers out on the field. But you can see over in the distance, blue shirt on, there is Gary. There is the ball of Gavin Howe. And just in the ditch, kind of the little contour of the fairway, is Stephen Cameron's. Now looking at the lie, be interesting to see which one they pick. Stephen's got a bit of a trickier lie with, it's quite hilly in there. Whereas Gavin's got this one here, and I just heard them say they're going to go with Gavin Howe's ball. Pleased to say Mark got his ball back. Good stuff.
So it will be Mark to play second. Gone for a more direct line to the pin. It'll be interesting to see just how much this one turns, and that is going to catch the path, and I think it may well end up down there in the burn. Ball looks like it's actually just stopped in the rough there, so it's turned out okay.
So you can see as those shots take off, the contours of the greens there. As we come across this fairway, pretty bumpy, and because it's so dry, the ball is going to travel.
Yeah, so the shot there from Gavin Howe, the second, went right, and I think they've probably got a little bit fortunate there, to be honest. The ball has sat up fairly reasonably well, and I think they'll be able to tow out from there.
I'm going to make my way up to the second green, Gary, just while you film that, and then you can take the tee at the second.
So, third shot here from Barry. That is a very nice line. Is that going to sit? Yes, it is. Excellent shot there. So, Stephen Cameron, squeaky bum time. So Stephen and Gav, I think Stephen had real bother getting in there. Very painful, I think, actually, if I'm being honest. So they've decided to mark, so this will be their fourth. Stephen aggressive. Excellent shot. Saved par there. And a tap in for a four there from O'Donnelly and Bowie.
So while we're waiting on these guys heading up towards the next tee, I'm going to show you a little bit of some of the t-shirt you could be wearing this weekend, our Scottish team polo. So as you said there, Gary, a great hold, especially for Stephen and Gav. And they're just walking up to the second tee. The second tee comes up across a hill. And then we come round and onto the golf green just here. So we'll let the players, obviously they'll come and take a little bit of a look. Hole number 2 is a par 3 and it is 125 yards in total. So you're going to see some of the bigger hitters hit off the tee. It's a little bit windier up here and the wind is at their back. So you've got to be thinking that potentially they are able to make the green for the bigger hitters. So we'll just move back down so you guys can see this ball come over the hill. And I will just pray that nothing comes my way.
So Gavin Howe starts out right. It's clipped the top of the second hill there, and Carolyn.
And he is potentially going to make it down the hill. He sure is. So he's come down the hill and he's going to be just to the right of the golf green, slightly in the rough. He's got to putt across the green to get to the pin.
Stephen Cameron up next.
Yeah. Here it comes. You can see how much the ball's bouncing around. Lovely shot that from Stephen. That's going to make the green, and you'll see how much this will roll today. So Stephen is right in the centre of the green, and they'll be pretty happy with that for their first shot.
And we just saw the tee shot there, clip the trees on the right hand side, but I think that's probably ended up okay.
Mark teeing off. See how important distance is to get up. So both Barry and Mark haven't quite made it across the hill, but they should still be able to roll up and take a par. I would definitely say here though that Stephen Cameron's ball is going to be able to play. Just head up and behind the pin. So I'm not sure which ball they're going to play. Barry's the orange ball. So it's Mark's ball that they've played. Just in the rough. It may roll back down. It's going to stick. So slightly downhill putt there. Be a tricky one. Should go slightly left to right as the player looks at it. Three. Cracking putt. Very intricate putting style, Gavin Howe. Deadly with the toe, Gavin Howe. Lovely. Very, very nice. So they're going to head off to the next hole, which is the risk and reward. And Gary can have a little look at who's coming over the hill. I believe we should have the Innes boys coming up over the hill.
Yeah, so we are still waiting for the group behind to put out on 1 at the moment.
Well, while you do that, let me know when they're here, because what I'll do is I'll go and just check these guys hitting the risk and reward hole, sponsored by Omega Quant. Huge thank you to Omega Quant for doing the risk and reward holes. Just show you a little bit about a risk and reward hole. You maybe saw a fabulous video starring Colin Murray, but you have to hit right across all these bushes. You have to be very, very precise. Too far left and you're in the gorse losing your ball. Too far right and you're bouncing right in to the gorse on the right. And there's a ditch right in front. So this is a precision hole. I'll be honest, lost a ton of shots here last year. Not my favourite hole. That's Ali Dick hitting it up onto the green.
Just while you're there, Carol, and a quick update on the leaderboard. So we've got 4 players tied currently on evens: Bennett and Beaton, Haig and Dick, O'Donnelly and Bowie. And actually, I believe after that hole, Cameron and Howe have now taken the lead at 1 under. And other groups that we have seen so far, we've got On Choi and Murray on +2 through 4, and Shaven Morgan on +2 through 4.
That probably goes to show you how difficult this course is, with world's best pair being +2 through 4. I would imagine it's probably been the risk and reward hole that may have caught them. It looks as if we're a little bit slow across here at the moment. A lot of decision making. Huge thanks to Paul Dock giving me a shout out there. Not seen you in a while, Paul Dock. So, back on hole 2, again, par 3, is the UK #1, Claire Williams, just coming across the hill. Gary will get right with who's coming on.
Yeah, so Carolyn, we've got our next group: Robin Murray and Aaron Smith, and Josh Murray and McDowell. Claire's just having a look at the camber as we get up on this hill. As we've seen, Stephen Cameron had an excellent shot, long distance, and given himself, 12, 14-foot putt. Very tricky to read from where the tees are. Robin Murray has gone right and he's in the gorse. So sensible play here from Aaron, I think, would be safe shot, keep it on the fairway, get the ball up and over the hill, and he has also gone right, and I think that ball is actually stuck in the tree. Next up we've got Josh Murray. Now Josh will have seen both players go right here, and he plays sensible low and in the middle of the fairway.
That's the shot. Roll it up.
See the undulations that we've got here. The ball is running all over the place. So that started in the middle of the fairway and it's gone off to the right hand side. So David McDowell. A bit more distance than that one. I think that will come over, Carolyn.
Great shot. Absolutely great shot. That's going to come right down onto the green. Don't think it'll have enough height to get as far as Stephen Cameron's, but it's on the other side of the green. Cracking shot.
Excellent shot there. So Robin Murray and Aaron Smith, both players I think will have to take a drop here. So Aaron's ball is a bit further forward. It's currently in the tree, I think.
Chris Jeffrey's given us all the advice that we need. I would not be risking a £600 ball with all that gorse either. Get your £20 Sports Direct number out for some of these holes. It's a jab tree. We'd make a fortune if we could just grow them.
So Robin and Aaron now playing their third, having taken a drop from Aaron's ball. So Robin will be hitting their third. Bit of a blind shot this. Can't quite see the line into the pin, so Robin, that looks good. Good weight.
Over the hill, it's quite far right as they look at it from the pin. So they're going to have to hit a worldy shot, if I'm honest, from a perspective. So the gimbal went off there a little bit. See over there by the tree. So I'd imagine it'll be Aaron and Robin to play first.
I think you're absolutely right, Carol, and that is a very difficult shot from there. This will be Aaron and Robin playing their fourth.
Six putt left for Robin there. So, should be George Murray here. Starts it off slightly to his left. Don't think he's given it enough, but it may roll down this hill. It's going to just go offline. I think it might have held the line if he'd hit it a little bit harder. But they should tap in. Walked in there by Robin Murray. Never a doubt. We'll stay one more on this hole, Gary, and then we'll move on.
Okay, so next up we have James McNally and Kyle McCourt, and Willie Morrison and Jack Krieger. Both groups there just coming up again to see what it looks like over the hill and the line into the pin. I think, Carolyn, it's fair to say this first two holes are a very, very tough start.
Yeah, but I think actually having looked at the leaderboard, it seems to be that the third one is catching a few players out. Risk and reward. Good luck to everybody from Andy Sparks. I did see earlier there was a shout out to something. That ball's come over. I'm not quite sure who actually hit that, to be fair.
That was Kyle McCourt.
So Kyle McCourt's over, and he's just to the left of the green as the players look at it, to the right.
Next up we have James McNally.
McNally. Looks as if that was a left-footed shot there. And
It was
that's
indeed.
come up and all the way over. Should settle in the rough on the right-hand side of the green as the players look at it. The team geist there.
Next up we have Jack Grigor. He's gone right, and yes, that's tree on the right hand side seems to be catching out quite a lot of players.
James Jack got the distance to get across.
So again, similar to the last pair, Willie Morrison will have seen Jack Grigor's shot go right. Is he going to play safe and come in? He's done exactly what we saw in the last group. He's gone aggressive and ended up to the right in the tree.
It's always difficult when you've got a blind shot, isn't it? Not sure where the ball's going to go. And don't forget, these players are actually playing this course blind. They played it last year, but there are some changes on it. And you can see that ball is buried in there.
Both
so
balls
it's going to be
in pretty much the same spot, I think. So I think James' ball is playable. So
that's going to be one tremendous toe out of there.
Unlucky.
we've seen quite a few players struggle to get away from the trees on the right hand side here on this hole. Camber and footing on the shots are quite difficult to get a stance and get your body in the right angle to hit the shot. So yeah,
I think sometimes as well it's about getting a good contact on the ball, isn't it? And if you go and try and lace that, if the camber of the tee off box is off slightly, it's going to throw your shot off slightly. So sometimes on that hole, maybe a sensible choice is actually just to side foot it as hard as you can up the hill. But it's not guaranteed because of the undulations of that fairway. Jack towing out. Didn't quite get enough on that, so that's going to settle on the right side of the green. James McNally and Kyle McCourt are just checking out which ball they're going to hit. James is over just behind Jack Grigor's, just here. So would show Jack Grigor the line if they hit that one. Whereas Kyle's is here. And they're going to hit Kyle's. So no help for Jack today. It's James McNally to play. That is a cracking putt. Deserves all the claps that gets. And as I was saying earlier with Josh Murray's putt, that he didn't quite hit it. It would have held the line if he'd hit it. James, will be watching that back later.
Yep.
Aggressive.
big turn on that one, left to right. Good weight.
Interestingly, he hit that quite hard and that slowed up very quickly.
I think very interesting what we've seen in this hole as well is a couple of birdies and a couple of bogeys or double bogeys already. So watch those players play it out there. So we're going to move on to hole 3, the risk and reward hole, sponsored by Omega Quant. So very technical par 4, 130 yards, elevated tee box. We are just going to make our way down to Burn. As I say, elevated tee box, undulating fairway. So really the trick I think on your first shot is to avoid the gorse, if I'm being honest. Keep the ball low and central. You can get very unlucky here with the undulations. Ball can easily veer off left or right. but anything on the fairway or in the first cut rough here is excellent.
It is the par 4 though, 145 yards. So, James McNally. And no members bounce for James McNally today.
Yeah, that is buried deep in the rough there. Next up we have Kyle McCourt. He has gone heavily.
That is that's in the gorse. Doesn't help you can hear what Gary's saying, does it? I'll tell him this.
Wow.
Does he get a good bounce? He does. That's a great shot. Now, will it come? It's still going to have to curl around that bush there, but it's out the danger, which is good. Will Morrison. And I think I heard the gorse there, Gary.
Yeah, that ball has ended up with a very fortunate members bounce there, I guess you would say. So it hit the gorse and come out onto the first cut rough. So I can just show you what the players have to negotiate with their second shot. So most balls tend to end up if they're on the fairway just round about there. There's a bush right in the middle of the fairway here, so if you're behind that, you need to get a bit of elevation and clear it, or get the Mr. Whippy out and get right round it. You're then playing up onto an elevated golf green with the pin tucked right at the back.
They'll play Jack ball. I suspect that James McNally and Will are going to have to take a drop. I said Kyle McCourt, sorry. Sun's getting to me, it's been a while. If you look from up here, you can actually just see the gorse moving. I suspect that must be Will going in to get his ball. It actually reminds me of Jurassic Park, you know, you know where the T-Rex is moving about in the forest. Tell you from experience that gorse takes no prisoners when it comes to the fact that you are wearing short shirt out there. Well, we're waiting. You won't need it today, but we're going to show you our mid-layer. So, next up on this tee, we've got Darren Cleary, Glasgow captain, Ben Cleary, and Colin and Adi Ferguson. looks as if they were able to play James McNally's ball out there, which would make this their third. So James McNally's going to come over the bush towards the green here.
Tough
Third
shot this for a left footer, but he's navigated that bush very, very well. And he is up on the golf green. Is that ball going to sit? Excellent shot.
So Will Morrison will be up next. Again, he's going to have to curl that round that bush.
So Will has gone aggressive there, and I think that may just settle in the first cut rough. Left himself quite a tricky putt from there because the camber runs left to right and it's downhill. It will be Kyle McCourt to play first. I think, Caroline, if I'm correct, this is their fifth.
I'm just watching Darren Cleary on the tee.
So he's gone, started right off the flag. Excellent weight that. And just ended up a bit short.
Darren Cleary's tee shot ended up just in the hazard there. Be interested to see if that's playable. Next up's unbent. It's right. Now, does he get a good bounce? So he's ended up slightly in the rough, but I think that's playable. AD Ferguson.
Jack Grigor, very difficult there to judge the weight playing downhill through the first cut rough. He's left it short by about 6 to 10 feet.
It's definitely in the rough.
Willie holds out there. Is that 4 guys? Yeah, for par.
I didn't hear Gort there, but I'm not sure where that one's landed. Could be that both are in the Gort. Ben Cleary's going to be very happy with that because I think he was probably the best tee shot of the day there. Number 1 playable and definitely not having to take a penalty, so well done, Ben.
This is Chris.
So I think we just saw Aidy Ferguson there play the shot from where the ball was lying in the gorse. Didn't manage to get it out, so Colin Ferguson now playing their third, and the ball has come out and into the middle of the fairway. Fourth shot there for the Fergusons. Is that got the legs to make it up onto the green? So just going to sit short. I think it's fallen a bit short there. Next up we have Darren Cleary from Ben's tee shot. Darren with the toe. He's cleared that gorse bush, and that is very nicely up on the golf green. Excellent shot from where he was there, and given the Clearys a chance of birdie.
So back on the tee, we have some very, very thoughtful players going on here about what to hit, and it's our English contingent. Am I right?
We're Welsh.
Oh, Welsh. Oof, better not get that right.
Definitely not.
Listen, I constantly get called Irish. Right. Who's up first? Rob Mucklow.
So Ben Cleary here for birdie. Starts the ball slightly off to the right hand side. You can see there quite a heavy right to left camber as we look at it. And the ball has drifted off there, just sitting on the fringe, and giving Darren a 18-foot putt there for par. Ferguson's haven't seen that line. Will they start the ball out further to the right? And they have. That ball has come round and it's in! Fantastic shot.
Morris on the tee.
Get over. Shot.
Cracking shot that, but it's going to end up in the ditch.
And just clipped the left edge there as we look at it. The ball has come back out and gone 6 feet south of the pin.
Harvey Davies on the pin. Strike that.
Darren taps in there for a 6. I think.
What a hit.
Disappointed there.
Good luck tomorrow, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Strike out.
Good luck to the Welsh. So you can see there from what we've seen off the tee, we've seen people try and go sensible, and they've been getting pretty unfortunate bounces, if I'm honest, and heading into the gorse. You can see the people that have kind of hit a mid-range sort of side foot, they've ended up in the burn. The two players that we've seen so far that have gone over have absolutely melted it. Jack Grigor and Adam, who's just hit. So when we talk about risk or reward, I'm not sure whether actually just going for this hole is possibly the play. It'd be interesting to know what you guys think at home. I am not looking forward to playing this one tomorrow and Sunday. It wasn't a hole that was very kind to me last year, so I'm not expecting any change out of it this year. I'm going to start to move down. Gary, you can watch them putt and I'll head up to the next one.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Carolyn. Very, very difficult to know how to play this hole. We've seen a variety of different shots and a number of different outcomes for almost the same shot in some cases. So maybe the key tomorrow is give it a go.
Paul Morrissey's just hit that over onto the green.
That ball flirted with the green there, and unfortunately it's just ran back down the hill. Just needed a little bit more on it and a kinder bounce.
You can see how deep that ditch is. So if you go in there, it's a definite drop. Maybe a little playable in the middle there. Gonna take some probably. John Morris next. Chips it on there.
Very nice shot.
You didn't see how far that
Very
goes.
nice. Surprised that didn't
Seems
roll
to
a
have
little bit
stuck.
further. Yeah, I think the green here, there's a slight uphill gradient on it, so the ball is sticking or running back down, where we can see the ball for the next shot here. Starts out right. And that has left a very, very difficult putt from here. Straight at the pin and never in doubt. Very nice.
Yep, Madam Cracking Pup. So I'm going to head up to hole number 4, sponsored by AC Schoolwear, while Gary takes you through on the green hole.
That is a cracking putt. Nerves of steel, that. Downhill, aggressive, straight at the pin, and it dropped. So we're on to hole 4, 145 yards, and again we're uphill here. And unlike what the conditions that we've had today, we've actually got a bit of wind and it's behind us, so that will benefit the players from the tee shot. You need to give it quite a bit to clear both the hills that you can see in front of us, and then you really need a bit of luck beyond that, I think. So Sean Morris with the left. That looks like it's up and over. Very nice.
Ben Cleary on the green.
That's an excellent hit there, again with the left.
Shame that for Ben, because that was a putt that was not hit hard. It's ended up miles.
Low. Kept it low there and hit it, and it's over. With the left, we've seen 3 left foot shots here, and that one is veered off a little bit to the right hand side. I think all 4 are pretty good.
Yeah, the green here, Gary, playing very, very quick. even if you get quite close to it, it is rolling quite far away from the pin. So it's going to be some good 6-foot putts here.
I remember this one very well from last year, Carol, and the green is full of undulations and is very unforgiving.
No bother for Ben Cleary though. Put that right in the hole. So this should be A.D. Ferguson for birdie. The man doesn't even do pressure. Not a single bit of pressure there. So, got our well coming on. Sean Morris. Rob Buffalo.
So Robert Mucklow to go first, second shot for their pair. And he's dragged that left.
You know, the more and more I look at the course, the more and more I decide.
Line looks good in that one. How does the weight look, Carolyn?
It's going to probably head off towards the right, and I think it's going to take down that hill. So as the player looks at it, that's going to end up, for what looked to be online, that's going to end up quite far away from the pin. This is a very, very unforgiving green. And to quote the golf phrase, I can't remember what course they were playing at recently in the actual golf, but some of the fairways look like the surface of the moon with the undulations. So this is a course that when it bites hard. So Paul Morrissey and I think Adam are going to hit next. Wonder if we'll see a little bit of the Matt Morgan-esque back heel here, Gary.
I don't think you can. So you can back into it. You can't hold on to it when you're playing your shot.
So the player's allowed to find stance, but they cannot improve their stance or their swing.
What do I do otherwise? Take it back?
You can, yeah, you could take a drop and it'd be 2 metres no closer to the hole.
Mate, I'm going to have to take a drop here. No, because it's right. What? Right. Mate, come and feel them. Feel that? It's thorns, mate. You can just have a little swipe at it, just try and get it out there. That's what I was thinking. Just take a drop and put it out there. You know what I mean? It's alright, you've got a rule on it. It's fine. Yeah. I'm just trying to think whether to take a drop or not.
What's the best one to do?
Whether to take a drop or not. What?
It's not a hazard.
How far are you going to get till you get it? I can't get in there. If you want a drop, you get 2 metres. 2 metres out, yeah? No closer to the hole.
Yeah, if you want to do, it's only
otherwise, I'm going to play it to then. It's going to roll back down. You want to do that, stick a marker on the ball and then you can mark your 2 metres out.
So David Quigley, event marshal there.
You need to go
Always a good idea to get the event marshal involved if there's any queries. especially when the film crew are with you.
I think that's a sensible option, Carolyn, if I'm being honest. I think there was no option to actually get a swing at the ball, and I think the kick would have not been strong enough to actually get the ball up the hill. It would have just rolled back and potentially in a worse position.
Took an unplayable. Has he got it up the hill?
That?
I have a horrible feeling that's coming back down. Horrible feeling. This green is punishing. It is dead weight. And if you don't hit it, it's away. And it is one of those greens
that is incredible. I think that has ended up in almost an identical spot from where players took a drop. It's very, very unlucky.
So the play on this hole is stay left on the fairway off the tee.
So the player's taking a second drop here. And as Carolyn has said, this course and this hole in particular are very, very unforgiving. So sixth shot, giving that a bit more on it.
He's gone too aggressive. Too aggressive. So I think we'll now be down to Paul Morrissey. There. See. Way off the back.
Wow. Players saying they don't like this hole. I think that is a very accurate description. This is number 7. Yeah.
One person I'll always trust with maths is Gary Thompson. It's a very small, probably 4 or 5 foot wide where it'll sit. So you've got to get it surrounded by. So your approach play here is absolutely key. Oh, Muckleo's just hit. Cross. Probably going to roll as well. Wait.
Oh no.
And you can see
Wow.
how far that's gone.
So Robert Mucklow there from the north side of the green has gone past the pin and probably doubled the distance back up the hill.
And that is going to roll and roll. Go.
Very sensible that from Robert. Just played it short of the hole. Didn't want to go beyond because the danger was, oh, we'll just roll and roll back in here.
So I think we can now see why we got through hole 4 and people were +2. It's this hole.
Now, could that be away again?
Think it. Slow. Hit the pin. Hit the pin.
Needs to go in. Needs to go in. Excellent shot.
Cracking shot from Sean Morris. He'd had enough of this hole, he wanted to move on.
10, but I think both players just absolutely delighted to get off this hole.
Paul Morrissey, lovely shot. Well done.
10 for us.
7 for us.
7. That is going to kill some people on this hole, isn't it?
Yeah, guys just saying there that this hole could kill quite a lot of people today, tomorrow and Sunday, and I think they're absolutely spot on. A 10 and a 7.
Gary, if you want to move up and watch the tee of the next one, and I'll just watch. Looks like it's Thomas and Kieran Innes coming up here.
Oh, thank you. And the bottle as well. No, I'm just trying to get my head over that hole. It's got to be one of the hardest got holes in foot golf I've ever played on so far.
Good to get out the way on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed it. Well,
enjoyed the putt.
Yeah. I'm celebrating it. I'm celebrating a 10.
I was long gone, mate, if I didn't go.
Hey, I get it out. Get him out today, isn't it? And then
A few extra scores on there, you know.
So as you can see, Thomas hasn't quite had the distance there, but I think that'll sit. Be interesting how you guys at home play this.
So, on to hole 5, par 4, 105 yards, uphill. Brought the tees back from where they were last year. They were off just to the left-hand side. It was playing as a par 3. Tees just before the track there. Last year they brought them back, so it's now playing as a par 4. So, probably the trick here is to pass the ball up just before the gradient of the hill really starts to steepen, and then you've got to pass up for your second shot. Interesting to see where this ball goes. Will this sit? And it has.
yeah, there you go.
So Sean Morris with the left foot has gone further right, so there is a very steep left to right roll back here, and I think we're about to see this ball come back probably towards the track. So Adam gone left. That seems to be the play on this hole. Looks like the ball will sit up there.
Back on hole 4, we've got Paul Bolton and James Firth. And we've got Kieran and Thomas Innes. Yeah, it doesn't stop, as you can see. James is just saying that He loves the camera, so this is going in the hole. No pressure.
Oh, so much go back.
So, I think they have this for par.
Looks like a nice line there from Sean. It's left that a bit north of the hole, I think. I think that's quite a tricky putt from there downhill onto a very, very rapid golf fringe and green potentially. Robert Mucklow has put his out left as well, roughly the same place. And I apologise if there was any dodgy camera work there. I found myself in a ditch.
Par here, perfectly. This is not a hole that you go for. Basically, roll it up, take a par, and the approach shot there. I'll double check. Oh, he's babied it. So an unfortunate double bogey there, James Firth and Paul Bolton. But perfectly played, as I said, by the Ennis boys. Nice little par that. Not many pars have been taken on there today.
So we're back on hole 5 here. We just saw Paul Morrissey, third shot, missed left edge of the pin, and the ball has travelled quite a distance and left Robert Mucklow with an uphill putt, left to right, and it's missed left edge again. Now, what is this ball going to do? Where is this ball going?
So, hole 5, sponsored by Broadleys Foot Golf, home of Glasgow. And it's, again, a tricky little par 4. This was par 3 last year, but we moved the tees back.
And is that ball going to go back down the hill? It's incredible. Playing a bit of golf tennis here, I think.
So this fairway.
I'm not laughing yet. Good for you lads watching, is it? This is how not to do it.
Good to see the players in good spirits.
That's what cry, isn't it? Oh no, don't. It will be alright. No.
Robert has quite sensibly played that ball quite a bit shorter than before, so he's left that sitting pin high. Still a very, very tough putt from there. Morrissey, it's missed left edge again. Now, is that ball going to sit? It has. You can see the relief in the players' faces there. Adam, excellent shot there. Start the ball out left, dead weight. The tapping, what's that, guys? 4. was for a 4, an excellent 4, I think, on this hole. Take your par and run.
I think that's just a move for the whole thing.
What was that, boys? I don't know. You played about tennis about that.
If Gary mutes his microphone just before Thomas Innes heads on the tee. So that is headed way right. Here in. I think that might. I think the little patch there. Yeah, there you go. Dry, easy.
Back towards you.
Oh. Hit that. I think we'll follow this group. But Bill loving the split screen footage. Yeah, it's quite good. It works well. It just requires 2 of us to be doing the film. First time we've used it, I think today certainly it seems to have worked quite well. So. Well, you might be able to see it, but it's pretty much buried in there, so that'll be a drop. The question is, where is Thomas's?
So while we're waiting for these guys, just now what we will do is let you know what we've got coming up. So myself and Carolyn will be passing over to the voice of Scottish foot golf, I should say, Callum Haig, who will be manning the coverage from around about 5 o'clock this evening. We then have the live draw for tomorrow's first round tonight with Neil Shave, Callum Haig at 7:30. We're then back tomorrow, 1:30 tee off for the first groups, right through to I think about 5:30. We'll be covering as much of tomorrow's footage as possible before culminating in the final round, which I think starts at 8:30 on Sunday morning. So we've got quite a lot of foot golf coverage coming up for you guys. Hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far, and yeah, stick with us. Carolyn.
Yeah, we're on ball hunt at the moment. Not quite sure where Thomas has gone. Yeah, just waiting to find out. Kieran's ball, as you were there, is very much buried rough. Not sure where Thomas has gone.
Big shot.
So it is here.
Playable.
It's playable. Be a big pull, but up that hill. Can he get it up there is the question. Was it take a drop and definitely get it up, or not take a drop and try?
Anyway, so
Right, you guys first.
James, I think if you're ready, let's play.
So it'll be. I think we're going to use Paul Bolton's ball. So it'll be James first to play. Up the hill it comes.
that is an excellent shot. Left the ball, what, 6 to 8 feet from the pin. Very, very tough.
Cracking shot, James.
Here, and they have
All
a
on
great
camera
chance
as
for
well.
birdie.
Camera lad, that.
Best camera one.
Yep. So we have Kieran to play because we'll definitely use Thomas's ball. With regards to the scores, Ian, as we're doing this, unfortunately we can't actually look. But if you go onto Facebook, you'll have access to the live leaderboard there. So they've taken a drop. This is their third. If they're sensible, they'll see if they can put this close and then tap in for par. No harm, no foul.
So that looks fast. Gone off to the right hand side and it's just going to sit just before the rough, the really heavy rough there. If Thomas, quite a tricky downhill putt, big right to left turn as we look at it. Thomas's shot has gone beyond the pin and I think that is just going to roll off to the left hand side. It's your fourth. Tam, is this your fourth? Good weight that from Kieran. Good line, just missed on the left edge. Is the ball going to sit there? And it does. So Paul Bolton for birdie, and I think from what we've seen in this hole, that is excellent. Thomas taps in there for 6. So as I've said, I think this hole very unforgiving, pretty much like the opening 5 holes on this course. And now what we're going to do is we are going to head to hole 6, the second of our risk and reward holes, sponsored by Omega Quant. Carolyn.
I'm just down on the green few goes at this again, like a very, very tricky green. Again, Greenock is a course your approach shot have to be sensible. Break this green, right, left. This is a par 3. Cracking shot that from Paul Morrissey. Good par from Rob Mucklow and Paul Morrissey. Sean Morris taps in. Fortunate triple, I think that. So you'll be able to look uphill from where I am. You'll see the players at the top. They've got to negotiate that course at the top and then let the ball trickle down. You go, as we're looking at the screen, towards our left, that ball will feed down towards the hole. But if you go towards our right, the player's left, you're going to end up over in the rough across there and playing. This is not an easy hole. And so given. You can see, that looks like thinkness. Way on the fairway. Who have we got on the tee now, Gary? Is that Paul Bolton?
It's Paul Bolton up next, yep.
Watch this. Watch this. It's quick.
Wow.
But watch this. Racking shot from Paul Bolton. Fortunately, I have absolutely nothing to mark it with. Would have been sensible if I'd done.
So next up we have the Innis boys, currently having a consultation, I think, about who will hit first and line.
You'll be pleased with that one, Mr. Bolton? It's all right, yeah? I'd have been proud of that myself. John Rontree says, shot.
So Thomas Innis.
Unforgiving partner there. Thomas Innis. A bit further right than Paul Bolton's, but should roll off. Not quite got it to make it up that hill. If it gets up the hill, it will roll back down towards the hole.
next up we have the left foot of Kieran Innes. So Kieran started right.
The man there taking Thomas's ball.
Found it, Jack.
So yeah, hole 6, the second of our risk and reward holes, and it's not just that. Look at that fantastic view. And if nothing else coming along here to Greenock today, the views here are absolutely incredible, and we've got a fantastic day for this.
So they've chosen to play Thomas's ball. Now this camber, I think, will take it towards Kieran's left.
A really good effort though.
Really good effort, really where you want to be as well. So, James Firth for birdie. Walks it in. Walks it in. That was never in doubt. And again, good putt from Thomas Innes there. So, birdie and a par from both pairs. So we're going to head on to hole number 7. Gary should hopefully be down by the green. Hole number 7 is a par 4. It's 156 yards.
Got Rob Mucklow playing his second, I'm assuming, from there. Big left to right turn on this hole from where he just played, as we've seen both balls heading off to the right hand side, but fairly flat into the pin from there, so not that bad a place to be.
Just get you to mute your microphone, Gary, as these guys go to tee off. I think they're going to wait, Gary, so you're free to commentate.
Yeah. Why are we going? On a 3? 3 and 4.
Gary Beresford's given us all some good advice. Just kick it straight, you'll be fine. I agree, Gary. That's all that needs to happen. Put it where it needs to be. Paul Bolton, left foot down the hill.
shot, Bolton. Well, thanks.
He didn't hammer it. He didn't absolutely smack it. And just watch where this is going to go. Now, that might end up in the rough on the left. So he probably needed to hit that a little bit harder. But yeah, if you miss it, it's heading into the course on the right. James Firth has fallen off the tee. We'll just check that he's all right. He'll be all right when he finds out his ball's playable. And I tell him that I didn't catch that, I don't think. So we've got a left footer and a right footer here with Ennis's. You can get the bolts and James are currently in. Watch this. That is outstanding.
I have to agree with that, Caroline. I think that is probably about as good as you can play this hole.
Yep.
Hit as far right as possible from the tee shot, and it will feed off to the left. And we've seen Kieran get pretty much as far down, I think, as you can go.
And think what you've seen there. That is two players that have slipped there. Now you can see that the tee off area is pretty burnt. Now, probably the sensible heading is take it back a little bit rather than sliding on there, but I'll stay up here and we'll catch the next ones as well.
What we'll do, Carolyn, while we're waiting for the players to come down, is we'll just get a quick update on the leaderboard. So, Cameron and Howe, 2 under through 8. Erdley and Campbell, 2 under through 3. Morrison and Grigor, 1 under through 9. McMahon and McMahon, 1 under through 5. Patterson and Grant, 1 under through 4. Clancy and McGowan, 1 under through 4. And that is the number of players that are currently under par. So I think that shows just how tough the opening 9 holes on this course are.
Yeah, and just to say that for those who are inquiring that James and Thomas after the flip, they're actually both okay. I think James will feel better when he sees that his tee shot is playable. This hole, incidentally, sponsored by GB Designs, home improvement company.
So Paul Bolton, second shot, playing from the deep rough. Actually, I think it's James Firth. Play the second. Been told by Paul, go well left. That's exactly what he's done. Now watch this ball. This ball will turn and turn and feed out right. Good shot from there though. Definitely a birdie opportunity this hole. So Thomas Innes playing from Kieran Innes' tee shot. This will be their second. Again, heavy turn left to right, so I'd expect Thomas to start this out quite a bit to the left as we look at it. That's exactly what it's done. That's got a chance. That's got a chance. Just missed right edge.
So back up on the tee, we have the McMahons, Brian and Tom, Martin Younger and Nathan Apasami. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Nice, very nice.
Yep.
Publicity.
Got that right.
Paul Bolton, third shot. Just dragged that a little bit to the right hand side. Kind of caught in the rough, I think, as they kicked that. Here we've got Kieran in this for birdie.
Yeah.
So it's actually
Just a bit short.
right.
I think all the players there were a bit surprised. That ball just seemed to die as it was running up there to the hole. Thomas Innes will tap out here for a 4.
Sorry, I thought
Strike that.
For
But it's going to head left into that rough. But the point is, it's playable. So, Martin Younger. Strike that. Decent. David Cameron saying, Gary, that we're Bridgend, Hazel Irvine and Dougie Donnelly. Enjoying the commentary. Thanks, guys, because in all honesty, the only reason we do this is for the compliments. Because we certainly ain't getting paid. To be fair, it is quite enjoyable. And actually, I've learned quite a lot looking at the players play this day. I think we'll get one more hole in. We actually go off air at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to head down to the next hole.
Yeah, so Carolyn, we're on hole 8, par 4, 85 yards. Very, very tough. As you can see right in front of us, we have got a ridge, probably 30, 35 feet in height. So 2 options here. You can either go for your tee shot and direct at the pin and try and clear the hill. Just so watch Paul Bolton here. He's gone for it. And he's made it. That ball flirted with that ridge there and made it over. So yeah, one option there is exactly what Paul Bolton did and go for it. The other option would be to lay over to the right hand side and pass up from there. James Firth, you can see there, you're in the hands of the gods to an extent, because your ball, when it hits that ridge at the top, it can go left, right, anywhere really. Thomas Innes Seen 2 right foot shots so far. This will be the third. Wow, and he's thumped that. I think that has gone quite a bit left, but the ball's up there, which is the most important thing. Now, Kieran is with the left. I think this hole probably favours a left footer if you can clear the ridge and those fence posts that we can see just to the mid to left of the camera. Slice that a little bit.
So back on hole 7. We're still trying to see if the McMahon boys have found both their balls. Unfortunately ended up on the right hand side in the rough. Nathan and Martin both ended up down the left, and as you can see, certainly one of the balls is visible. Not sure which one that is, we'll find out in a second.
Probably not too wide, you're going to get a big swing if you go high.
So we're back on the 8th. We're up at the golf green, and we've got James Firth playing the second shot. Across the golf green, we've got the pin tucked at the back right-hand edge of the green. You remember last year from Greenock, you can probably just see where that ball is going. That was broadly where the hole was last year. Very, very tough position. I think it's slightly easier this year. So Thomas in his second shot, you can see both Thomas's and Kieran's ball actually both ended up over there, so they're playing up and over the fringe. It's just missed right edge. Left Kieran with quite a tough downhill putt there. So let's have a look at this line. I think, if anything, it probably runs a bit left to right as we look at it. Just move out of the player's line. Paul Bolton started it right and yeah, running just off to the right hand side there. James will tap in there for a 4. Kieran, excellent there for a birdie on 8.
Back on hole 7. Tom McMahon. here. Nathan Appasam.
What, this to roll on there?
Just short, so that'll be a tap-in bogey for Martin. Brian McMahon. Oh, and it lipped and it travelled. It lipped and it travelled. So I'm going to follow this group. So that was a double bogey there for the McMahons and a bogey for Appasamy and Martin Younger. Sean Rowntree just saying to say hello to Brian and Tom. I will do that for you. The McMahons are getting a shout out online. Sean Rowntree says hi.
Hello, Sean. Say hi to John. Nothing's changed.
They say hi, nothing's changed apparently, according to Brian. So this is a shot 10 elevated green. Now on the left is quite a bit of trouble. On the right, if you can hit it up onto the raised bit, it should come down and onto the green. So we'll see what they do here. It's quite a bit further back than last year. Good strike. Cracking strike that. How's it looking, Gary?
So that ball is just nestled up before the golf green. Line looked pretty good there, and yeah, left the guys with a good chance of eagle.
Took the long route. Cool thing about scramble pairs is one can go aggressive. Be able to see as well the tee is on a slant, and that is going to throw the player's balance off. So that has to be taken into consideration before you hit. Just giving Brian some wee tips here. Strike. Looks like it got the distance, Gary, but did it have the accuracy?
Sorry?
Distance was good. What has happened on this hole, along with a few of the shots that we've seen, is the ball has gone off quite heavily to the left-hand side. So, if anything, I would say start your ball out further right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this line is excellent.
How's this one though? Was
this has
one
got a chance. This has got a chance. Whoa!
Yep.
Just missed.
Oh, it missed the hole. It literally just missed the hole.
That is very, very unlucky. The ball has travelled a good 25 to 30 yards beyond the pin there. Just missed by about a foot.
Shut up.
Excellent shot. It literally missed by about a foot. It's a tough one
you can
because
see
the
what-
ball's gone quite a bit beyond.
You can see here what Martin will be looking at.
Martin Younger with a little chip. That line looks good. That line looks excellent. And again, it's just missed to the right edge. So what happens if you do miss on that side is the ball will travel quite a bit down the hill.
He was brave with the chip, the hero shot.
So Brian McMahon for eagle. That is excellent. Wow. Very difficult to judge the weight on that. Playing through first cut rough onto the fringe and then the green. Very, very tough. Absolutely hit it dead weight.
Well, folks, we want to say a massive thank you to you for joining in with us this lovely afternoon at Costa del Greenock. We are now burnt to a crisp, so Gary and myself are going to head off. We've got a practice round in 30 minutes, but there will be some more live footage once Callum Haig is done with his round. Yeah, hope you enjoy it. Let us know in the comments how it was, and good luck to all of you who are potentially playing.
Thank you guys, bye.